What scares the daylights out of me? Falling. I have a tremendous fear of falling.
Well, quite a bit. To tell you a lot. But what I can say is I have a fear of heights and falling off a rooftop building. Like I don't go on top of buildings if there's a party there because I'm always afraid I'm going to fall off.
Being alone.
Human beings.
Wow, sometimes answering questions. But right now, probably the thing that scares me is running out of time. There's like so much stuff I want to do. So I'm very, very aware of the clock ticking. So I want to really kind of make the most out of the time that I have and spending the time with the people that I want to.
My biggest fear is abandonment.
A simple answer is Boston drivers.
Well, I don't like to be alone.
I would say, again, going back to my wish, what scares me is if I will be in my current job a year from now.
Oh.
The public slate of Republican candidates. Very scary.
The big banks.
George just drove really fast. And it scared the crap out of me.
Physical harm to my daughter and companion.
I haven't run into something that frightened me because I grew up during the war and I see so many things.
Nothing anymore.
Nuclear war in the Middle East.
When we see the world with our own filters and not being able to listen, not being able to see, then we risk projecting the darkest aspects of ourselves into it. And it poisons democracy, it poisons our thought, it poisons the cultural life of a nation. And I think one of the most frightening things that I see is this collective projection of the shadow that is happening in the West, and particularly in the United States.
I would say driving in Boston traffic scares the daylights out of me.
The thought of Newt being president.
Wall Street.
Scorpions. The Republicans.
Where the country seems to be heading.
Large animals with sharp teeth. Fox News.
Ignorance.
Oh my gosh. Limits. Ghosts.
Heights. Yeah.
Gosh. Not knowing what the answer is to the question.
Being trapped in a small space.
Snakes.
Rats. Thinking too much about yesterday.
I don't think of anything anymore. I don't know. It's more, I think, like a lot of times, an enjoyment I'll reach for is more trying to get scared, like that.
Being chased by frat boys in a predominantly straight male community.
Being in a very small, enclosed space. And even if there were loved ones there, it would still be terrifying.
And I'm afraid of you.
I'm not afraid of I know. Oh, but this is awful. For my whole life, I really wasn't afraid of anything except maybe drowning. And then when Richard was born and there was some threat to him, I realized that I could be afraid on a whole new level.
I mean, sort of all family-oriented things. So when my daughter sleeps very late and I don't hear any noises out of her room after like 9 o'clock in the morning, I get very scared.
Giving up on my dreams.
I am terrified and afraid of snakes.
I can handle any other creature, but I don't do snakes. I don't do rats and mice very well. So when I see those, I totally am a freaked out black woman. Like Medea goes crazy, Ethel goes crazy. So I don't like those kind of creatures. I think that's pretty much the only thing that really scares me. Oh, well, you know, this doesn't really, it's not fearful, but something that does also make me think is that the fact that I might never have another husband. I've had 2. It's not like I'm collecting them. But, you know, they always say 3 is a charm, so I'm working on something. We'll see what happens. But I won't say that's a really big fear, because either which way I'll be okay.
Getting old.
Not having the people in my life that I love the most.
My biggest fear is that this dreadful cold is not going to get any better, and it's going to last longer and longer and longer during this next very busy week. So I'm going to keep chugging my NyQuil and hope that it goes away. That's my biggest fear.
Oh, falling down, falling back.
Flying.
Newt Gingrich.
My husband, when he came down, when he was upstairs and he turned the car on, I was sitting in the car and all of a sudden the car goes on. Love.
Where's Kermit?
Yeah.
Dead.
Death.
No.
People who talk too much.
My fear is my parents dying.
Knowing that I didn't live up to my potential, whatever I was supposed to do. So I think that we all have to kind of pay attention to the little signs and the little things that various situations tell us, because the answers are there if we're listening, and I just don't want to miss it.
Violence.
Other people.
Dullness and silence.
Not feeling fully alive.
The regulations in place under the whole Wall Street movement. I feel like the fact that people aren't allowed to peacefully congregate and pass along ideas.
Well, maybe sometimes very little things, sometimes maybe really big government change.
Spiders. You know, that the world that I know is a dream, and that in the end I'm going to find out that it's all a lie, and that in fact we live in a much more horrible place than I think we do.
I'm scared to death of the dark.
I thought you said they were going to be easy questions. What scares the daylights out of me? If some of my hallucinations come true that I had when I was in India taking anti-malarial drugs.
Snakes.
And I'm afraid of you.
I'm a photographer, and I'm afraid of being in front of the camera.
Humans.
Human beings.
In the end, probably being irrelevant.
The thought that anything could happen to one of my children.
Okay. Oh man, I don't know, man.
This is a tough one again. I've had some psychological things in my life that qualifies dark. So, in terms of things that scare me, not so ridiculous. Not a lot of things scare me really. Outside of like the obvious, you know, like sharks and lightning and all that stuff. But
nothing scares me. No, I'm not really afraid of anything.
Nothing. I wouldn't say anything.
very little.
Wow, I haven't been mortally terrified in a while.
I fear nothing.
Nothing scares me.
The potential of a terrorist attack, a nuclear terrorist attack in the United States. Wow! I'm at the World Series of Poker.